Full masterclass with bonus modules is free on WAP. First link in the description below. Now for part 4 of Act 2 of the Matrix Masterclass, news and media. So we're essentially going to dive into the mainstream media. We're going to go into NASA, how that's a lie, and we're going to get into, like Hollywood, the music industry, pop culture, and all those kinds of fun things that you, for some reason, still believe in. And I'm going to convince you why you shouldn't. So to begin, we're going to get into, as I said, the mainstream media and fake news. In the last few years, it has gotten increasingly obvious that the mainstream media is constantly shoving a narrative down your throat. The reason for this? Project Mockingbird was started by the CIA in the early years of the Cold War in an attempt to manipulate domestic American news media organizations for propaganda purposes. And that's defined by Google. That's not even me being a crazy conspiracy theorist. Every single MSM outlet has the same exact opinion on everything because they're getting paid off. For example, when someone gets canceled and silenced and is shunned on live TV, this is because they said something that challenged the elite's narratives, and they know they have to shut it down before it creates a bigger mess for them. Some of the examples of these are CNN, BBC, the New York Times, Fox, ABC News, NBC News, etc. The list goes on. And if you literally Google Project Mockingbird, again, the exact thing that I had stated comes up on Google. It's not a secret. If you want to find more of the links that are highlighted and underlined in blue, you can download the PDF version for this. Now onto music, pop culture, and celebrities. All streaming platforms and radio stations are tuned to 440 hertz. This frequency causes negative emotions in the human brain, such as anger, distress, discomfort, sadness, anxiety, depression, and so on and so forth. Nearly all artists in the music industry are required to create music that captivates a larger audience, which equals more profit for the record labels. Said captivating music tends to include negative focused lyrics and themes such as heartbreak, drug use and abuse, murder, violence, sex, prostitution, crime, etc. Even with this secular music simply playing in the background, without even realizing it, your brain still picks it up because your brain is like a sponge. And if no one's ever told you this before, which I sure hope someone has, but if not, I'm going to be the first one to tell you. Like as you said, your brain is a sponge. Everything you hear, everything you see, everything you smell, taste, experience, feel, whatever the fuck it is, everything you take in, your brain soaks it up, especially if you take it in consistently, right? That's how, perfect example of this is if you've ever heard of someone getting kidnapped and they become brainwashed and genuinely believe years later by their captor that they have a different name, that they're a different person, or that their captor is somehow saving them or keeping them safe from someone or something else, some weird ass bullshit that happens like that. Is it basically just comes from them being manipulated and lied to for so long. And that's how people who believe and fall into all of this scams, all these scams by the elites and the propaganda and their agenda and all these things. That's what happens, is because from a child, we've already gone into this in the last part, from the moment you're born, you're fed all of this bullshit, all the nonsense, and your brain just soaks it up and soaks it up and soaks it up, and it never stops. It's the same thing. All you ever hear is this bad, this good. And so that's, of course, all you're ever going to believe for the rest of your life. How could you not? That's what you're told. That's exactly how propaganda works. And if you're listening to this, I'm sure you understand that. And so that's exactly the thing, is these people want society to fall apart and crumble, because for many of the things that happen, they profit off of. They use so many little tactics to make society fall. And then, so basically, look at this. This is the perfect manipulation and gaslighting tactic, but this is what the elites do it on a mass scale to a lot of people to make a lot of money. It's really unfortunate. They basically create a problem and then secretly have a solution waiting in the background. And after the problem happens, obviously they don't forward that they created the problem, but it's there. And then they display the solution, and then everyone goes to them, and then they're displayed as the hero. It's the classic manipulation, gaslighting bullshit thing. Just disgusting. And now we've gone over the music industry, we can go over Hollywood. Everybody wants to be rich and famous, especially with the big players in Hollywood. And knowing this, celebrities are incentivized, like paid, to sell the average person this dream. And unfortunately, for the average person, they are completely unaware that these Hollywood elites are all pedophiles and must perform satanic humiliation rituals to sell their soul and display their loyalty to Satan. Many of these will involve a male actor wearing either little to no clothing or feminine clothing, example like the John Cena humiliation ritual, which I'll show you in a moment. And the other piece of their symbolism is pandas, like panda eyes and pizza from Pizzagate, if you ever heard of or delved down that rabbit hole, both of which have to do with children. And before I show you this, it's going to be disgusting, so if you have a weak stomach, you might want to skip over this part for a little bit. Otherwise, if we can handle it, I'm going to show you.
John Cena in a skirt, and his legs make me so jealous.
So here's the thing about panda eyes. If you've never heard about this or delve into this rabbit hole, I'm going to basically explain it to you. So essentially, panda eyes, well, you know what pandas look like. They have the dark circles around your eyes. Well, when you sodomize someone, which means to basically anally rape them, when penetration is so aggressive and so hard, it's quite disgusting. So I really apologize for this, but this is what it is, and this is the dark truth. Basically, these people will sodomize children, so they'll anally rape them so hard and aggressively that I believe it's the blood vessels around their eyes basically like become bruised. Yeah, it's disgusting. I don't have any words for it, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding here. Look at all of these different celebrities, pandas everywhere, pandas all the fucking time. I mean, it's every single one. You wouldn't even think some of these like, oh, but I couldn't believe possibly that they whatever. Well, if you see them with a panda, wearing panda makeup, with a panda stuffy, or dressed up as a panda, yeah, you know. And now I'm not going to be going over this entire documentary of Pizzagate, but if you want to, you can go check it out here by Illuminati Bot on X or Twitter, whatever you want to consider it by. But here it is. You can see the link up at the top. And now for NASA, Globe, and aliens. NASA, when translated from Hebrew to English, means deceive. This comes as no surprise when you also learn that the Earth isn't even a globe like they said. Instead, the Earth is actually a firmament. And you can reference this from Genesis 1:6. I'm going to show you guys this. So I have the one, the only Holy Bible, my trusty book, opened up right here online for you guys. And if you want to open up your own Bible with me, you can also look this up for yourself. If you don't believe me, it's literally the first book of the Bible. And it's in the first 6 lines. When God was first creating the earth, he said, and God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And so the earth is a firmament. It means you can't leave. Like the sky, you know why it's blue? It's because it's water. Now, here's an interesting story, and it's true. Perhaps your parents or your grandparents will remember this, depending on how old or young you are. Here goes. 6 out of the 7 astronauts that supposedly died in the 1986 on January 28th Shuttle Challenger launch have been found scattered across the U.S. still alive today. The truth is that nobody was ever inside the Challenger. The reason for this psyop was to scare anyone out of questioning why the U.S. stopped traveling to space. Like I mentioned, space isn't real. The Earth is a firmament, so there is no way to travel outside of the water dome around this place. And you may ask, what about the ISS footage videos? And if you take a close enough look, you'll see that the astronauts are being hung by wires that are pulling their clothes. I mean, it's embarrassing. My reference here is the Level With Me documentary. It's great. It's about an hour long. Trust me, it'd be worth the watch if you ever want to go check it out. It basically just explains everything I just told you, but in greater detail, and it shows you all the proof. But god damn, it is so embarrassing. So if you see on screen, I have two screenshots from the documentary. On the left, we have the original photo taken of all the astronauts, essentially from before the alleged Challenger shuttle launch and before they all exploded and quote unquote died. And on the right, you have pictures of them now. They've all been found on the US, or they've all been found scattered across the US. And every single time someone goes up to any of them and questions them, they either freak out, ignore them, or just try to flat out deny it. And they seem like very, very obviously like nervous and on edge that any normal person wouldn't be. I'm sure the average person, if they just happen to look alike someone, they'd probably find it pretty funny. If you want the full Matrix Masterclass with locked modules, bonus sections, downloads, and the path to break out of the system, you can access it for completely free on WAP. First link is in the description below.